Hello there, good morning or evening or other time of day. How's your summer going? Or winter for anyone on the southern hemisphere? I've been a bit sad lately for a few different reasons, and when I feel sad or overwhelmed or not in control of things I'd very much like to be in control of, I like to do jigsaw puzzles. I like taking 1,000 little pieces and putting each one in their place where they belong. It's very calming to me, and it occupies just enough brain space to be relaxing but also distracting in a good way. When I feel like I can't bring the order that I want to my life, I find it helpful to bring order to something small and controllable, like a jigsaw puzzle. So I'm thinking I can extend that logic and use it to get some small repairs done. I have a pile of clothes that have been waiting for me to fix whatever little issues there are with them, and today's the day I'm getting started with that. So if you have any mending duties to take care of as well, please feel free to use this video as dedicated "let's get this fixed" time. I'll be operating under the idea of, I can't fix my whole life, but I can fix some clothes, because doing something useful does make me feel better. Alright, let me introduce you to the things I'm gonna try to repair today / over the next few days. I have a laundry basket full of stuff over here, and I'll just quickly run through these items. Starting with my wife's sneakers. They have developed holes in the back here where the heel rubs against the fabric, and I had exactly the same problem with my sneakers and fixed them with embroidery floss. All I did was just run some embroidery floss through to connect the fabric back together. It has held up really well for mine. The one issue is that you can't really get into all the way to the back here, so it's not a permanent fix, but it's better than nothing. All right, number 2. Maybe someone will recognize this. This is the Skyline dress by Sydney Graham. I made it recently. I had a whole little YouTube short planned for, hey, how long does it actually take to make a quick and easy sewing project? Well, turns out I made 2 major mistakes that I now need to fix. I was thinking, let's use this nice green linen cotton blend on the top, and then I have this really lovely but kind of see-through fabric, and I'll just use this for the bottom tier. Maybe you can already see what the problem is. The problem is the bottom tier starts way higher than I thought. I have the see-through layer starting basically exactly where my underwear is, which I wanted to avoid, so that's not great. Issue number 2, this top fabric is a lot heavier than the fabric on the bottom, which means this drapes in a really weird way. It does not look nice when I put it on. Don't put your lightest fabric on the bottom of a dress, it makes no sense. So to address both of those issues, I think I just need to find another fabric to back this with. So I just need to take this apart, put in a lining, and put it back together. And then hopefully this will actually be wearable. Next, this one should be quick and easy, is a shirt of my wife's, and the only problem here, other than that it really needs some ironing, is this little flap here that keeps coming off. I've already put this back on. I'm not sure if the side that I fixed came back off or if it's the other side. I just need to sew this back on, and then if it falls back off again, I think I'm gonna cut it off for good. Then we have a dress. This belongs to my sister, and this has 2 problems. Number 1, these ties on one side, this is coming off, and she asked if I could fix it. I've looked at it and I don't see a good way to reattach it just because of the way that this has been manufactured, so we agreed that I would just take them off because She doesn't really need them. The dress still looks cute without these. But the second problem she has with the dress, which she found secondhand, so it's fine. It's very short. It barely covers your butt. It needs to be a little bit longer. So I said I could just attach a little bit of black cotton at the bottom and make it a little bit longer. So we'll try that. Next, this is also a Sydney Graham pattern. It's the lane pants that I've added some back pockets to, and one of them is just starting to fall off, so I just need to kind of reinforce that a little bit so it doesn't fully leave the rest of the pants. Then we have another pair of pants. These belong to my wife, also secondhand find, and they're just too long, so we just need to hem them a little bit. Should be relatively straightforward. And last but not least, I have this robe that I like to wear in the morning if it's cold, and it just has a hole in the armpit that I want to fix. All right, I'm very curious to see how many of these I can actually fix today. Let's find out. Before actually getting started, I decided to make a smoothie. When I'm dealing with high levels of sadness or anxiety, the first thing to go is my appetite. Some people overeat when they're sad, and some people don't eat enough, neither of which is super healthy. So I've been making a lot of smoothies lately because they're delicious and easy to sip on, even with a low appetite. This one is mango I pulled from the freezer a couple hours ago, a banana, a little bit of ginger, usually lemon juice, but I only had limes today, so lime it is, and oat milk. Very tasty, would recommend. I also took the time to apply some nail polish because that's something small but nice that I can do for myself. I will say though, painting your nails around a tripod is harder than it looks, and the result wasn't that great, but that's okay. Equipped with a smoothie and fresh nail polish, I gathered enough motivation to start on the shoes. I do think this is worth doing if you have these little holes in the lining of your sneakers, but it's not the most fun thing to do. I did also kinda immediately ruin my nail polish. Okay, project number 1 is done. I now remember why I procrastinated this so long. It's not fun, it's very hard to get the needle through. This project really made me wish for a thimble, which I don't have, but I used the pliers quite a lot, which were very helpful. It's not super pretty, but it's functional. Hopefully it will protect the shoes for a little while. It took about 45-ish minutes, although it felt like longer, but now I'm done. Next. The shoes were tough, so I wanted something quick and easy next, and decided to tackle the back pockets on the lane pants. Alright, nice. This took literally 5 minutes to fix, including setting up the sewing machine, and while I was at it I thought, let me just reinforce the other corners of the pockets as well, so I did that too. That added another 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes well spent. While I had the light blue thread out, I decided to tackle the shirt next. This also took about 10 minutes, very quick, and I did find that the part that had come undone was not the one I had fixed before, which is good news because apparently the side that I fixed is still working. So now I have fixed both sides and hopefully it will stay on for quite a while. For the Skyline dress, I went looking for a fabric that's light in both color and weight that I could then add to the bottom tier of the dress as a lining to make it less see-through. I didn't have any fabric that fit the bill, but I remembered that I had an old bedsheet, which was perfect for my purposes. I cut off the elastic and ironed everything, then moved on to taking the dress apart. I sewed the bedsheet lining to the main fabric and performed a quick and very professional see-through test. I think we're good. I then top stitched down the top of the outer fabric and lining, and I can't quite explain why, it just felt right. Below that, I put in 2 rows of basting stitches that I used to regather the skirt before attaching it to the rest of the dress. At that point, I was concentrating so hard that I forgot to film any of it. It might be for the best though, because neither you nor I need to see exactly what my face looks like when I am doing anything with gathered fabric. It's so stressful. Anyway, here's a look at the final result. The bottom tier is not see-through anymore and it's heavier than before, which helps with the drape of the dress. In general though, between the double layer at the bottom and the heavy linen cotton blend on top, this is not exactly a breezy summer dress. I do think though that it'll be nice either over or under a long sleeve jumper in the colder months. And now I really want to make this dress again in a lighter, flowier fabric. And for the sake of time tracking, fixing this dress took me about 3 hours and I have no idea where that time went. Another day, another puzzle. Also, this here is my very first attempt at some sort of latte art. It's a blob, and it's supposed to be a blob, so that's a win in my book. I'm hoping to move on to hearts soon, but I wanted to start very, very small. I had 2 easy projects left and decided to tackle those today. I started by hemming these pants and fixing the small hole in one of the legs, which took around 25 minutes. The hole fix is pretty visible, but it's the best I can do right now and it's good enough. The hole in the robe was also very easy to fix and took only 8 minutes. I also had the benefit of my very helpful friend and assistant Maxi showing up to make sure everything was going smoothly. He had a little rest on the robe and then drank my water. He does have a drinking fountain with running water, but he is fully convinced that no water could ever taste as good as water from a glass that one of his humans had, perhaps foolishly, thought was theirs. Last, but certainly not least, it was time to tackle my sister's dress. I was originally considering opening up the seams where the ties are attached and then reinforcing them, but the issue here is not the seams, it's the fabric thinning out. After thinking it over again, I decided to just remove the straps and leave the seams alone. Now that the ties are gone, there will be less strain on the fabric in those areas, so hopefully it'll hold up. This cotton strip will get attached to the bottom of the skirt to make it a little bit longer. I folded the edge over twice and sewed it down, and then repeated the same process on the other side. I pinned on the lace and sewed that on as well, and that was the easy part done. I wanted to sew the hem of the skirt on top of the black cotton because I thought it would look cute, so I put in a white basting stitch to help me keep everything even. After just a few stitches of sewing though, I realized that the fabric of the dress is a tiny little bit stretchy, and I found it completely impossible to reliably stitch on top of the original stitch line of the hem. It looked super messy, so I ripped that out and adjusted my plan. I had to admit to myself that sewing the dress and the black cotton right sides together would be much easier and still look good, so I went with that. I made sure to press all the seams down towards the bottom, cut off the extra bit of fabric I had left over, and finished those edges. It was all pretty straightforward, but it took me 2 hours, probably mainly because I went in with not much of a plan. It looks a bit weird here, but I did briefly try it on and it looks better when you actually wear it. I sent my sister a picture and she approved, but I won't see her for a few more weeks, so I don't know what it looks like on her yet. And here we are. All my little repair projects are done, and it feels pretty nice not to have them swirl around in the back of my mind anymore. I'm still not done with this castle puzzle, but I'm chipping away at it slowly and having a really good time with it. Lastly for today, I want to mention that Maxi is still enjoying the quilt I made for him. I just realized though that it has a little hole in it, so it's now item number 1 on my new mending pile.